My name is John Stever. I am the Managing Director of The Office and the co-founder and chairman of the board of Impact Hub Kigali.
And what's the relationship between The Office and Impact Hub?
Well, so The Office started in October 2012, originally as a small, roughly 70 square meter office space. We had a collection of artists, entrepreneurs, freelancers, consultants sharing space, and we steadily grew that small space into basically taking over this entire building. We also have 2 satellite offices across
And when we say this
town.
entire building, it's a 4-story building, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 800 square meters, 600 square meters of office space, and we have a 200 square meter rooftop event space.
And you're about to make a cafe and
That's right. We just started breaking ground on the roof to erect another roof on top of it to put a cafe bar so that we can have a permanent event space. We've hosted TEDx events, film festivals, spray painting workshops, salsa dancing lessons, roundtable discussions. I mean, you name it, we've hosted something up there on the roof. And yeah, now we're going to have a permanent event space once we get the cafe bar open in the next month and a half or 2. Yeah.
And specifically the work of Impact Hub. What is Impact Hub doing?
Well, Impact Hub is actually a global community of community working spaces that all share the same philosophy of bringing together unlikely allies and of integrating social objectives into profitable enterprises. So we basically saw an opportunity to merge the co-working space with the office with this global community and also create an opportunity for ourselves to then restart the co-working space with community ownership. So we're actually in the process right now of initiating a community share offer program to create an opportunity for all of the members of our office community, but also people around the city that are passionate about building the entrepreneurial ecosystem and about social enterprise to invest and to actually own a share of Impact Hub Kigali.
And what kind of organisations or co-working opportunities have come out of Impact Hub?
So we're very much against curation. We're sector agnostic, we're stage agnostic. We really try and cultivate the greatest degree of diversity that we can inside the space. So you have organizations like One Acre Fund, very large social enterprises. They work with about 120,000 farmers this year in Rwanda alone, but they're active across the region. You also have smaller organizations like Ejo Partners, which is basically doing investor matchmaking. So they link up entrepreneurs in Rwanda with angel investors inside Rwanda and also internationally. And they also manage programs for Bid Network and for Spring Accelerator Program. You also have technology companies, you have artists, you have architects. We have 2 architect companies in the office right now. We host the office for a coffee exporting company. I mean, really, you name it. There's a guy making cartoons. We have school teachers. We have people in education technology, journalists, startups. Really, I mean, it's really a diverse group of people.
And how did this matching of kind of culture and technology come together? Because it's a quite rich mixture, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that creativity is oftentimes very, I don't know, I think there's a lot of effort to define what creativity is, and I think that really, if you think about it, it's present in all sectors. And so what we're really trying to do is create this. I mean, as you can see in the building, we've got a mixture of graffiti. We've got a big JR Inside Out project art exhibition on the walls right now, which is photography of our entire community in large format on the outside of our building. So it's really a funky space. All of our furniture we've made ourselves. We've welded up the wall behind us. The light fixtures. There's a massive dinosaur in the room over there that we made with some of our community. It's a really eclectic space, and we host art exhibitions here. We host a really large diversity of events, whether it's bringing together researchers or bringing together electronics hardware makers or hosting hackathons. So it's really about us really actively going out into the city, seeing what's interesting, and making sure that all of these different creative people from whatever walks of life they come from wherever they come from in the world, whatever they're passionate about, know that they have a home here to gather, to explore, to create, to share. And I think it's really, for us, it's that inclusion. It's that, like I said, we don't curate at all. We really just invite anyone. We've hosted art exhibitions with internationally renowned artists, but also with students from a local orphanage that were taking photography classes, and also from university students at the local science and technology university. So it's really like a huge mixture, and we want to make sure that anyone who's exploring, pushing, creating feels like this place is their home.
So you help make the stew?
Yeah. I mean, we just put a pot in a fire,
Yeah.
and we let people know that their ingredients are welcome. You know?
And what have you got planned for next year?
So, as we were just talking about, we're building a rooftop. That space is going to host the best coffee shop in Kigali. It's called Neo Cafe. We're going to be putting a bar up there with Neo Cafe, and we're also going to be having an event space. So we'll have a stage that's going to be hosting live music, spoken word poetry, lectures, movies. I mean, you name it, we're going to be hosting those kinds of events, and it's going to be free and open for anyone in the city to host events through Impact Hub Kigali and Neo Cafe on the rooftop space. So we're going to really push this open event space, especially now that we're going to have the facilities always available. Before, we would have to bring in sound systems, bring in lights when we're hosting events, but now we can essentially have an event any time of the day, any day of the week, which is really exciting. The other plan is that we're in the process of growing Impact Hub Kigali's community, and we're basically the first community-funded, fully sustainable for-profit co-working space on the continent outside of South Africa, which I think is a huge, huge achievement. So those two things are happening, and then in parallel to that, the office, which still exists as kind of a real estate broker for the collaboration in the sort of entrepreneurial ecosystem, is going to start exploring investment opportunities to actually secure some real estate that is large enough for this community that we've created to grow into.